Hey guys, so you think you've found an amazing girlfriend and you're wondering, could she be the one? Could she truly be the one for you? Here's what happens. You finally meet a great girl and she's like no other girl or woman you've ever been with before. She asks about your day, she knows your favorite meal, she even respects that you're not too keen on spending a lot of time with her rambunctious nieces. You disagree on some stuff, but she never becomes a raging crazy lady. And the sex is amazing. Maybe you've even declared your love for each other and you're wondering what the next step might be. Whether it's moving in together or maybe something a little more serious. Or you might be very early and you're just wondering if you should be exclusive. So how do you know if she's truly the one for you? Now, if you've taken my Wake Up to Love program, you probably already know the answer to this question. But if you haven't taken my program, then you need to be careful. If you've been burnt in the past, you know what I'm talking about. It's easy to be fooled by our emotions and fall head over heels in lust when it's not really love. And then she turns out to be a psycho and breaks your heart, or worse, makes your life a living HE double hockey sticks. And then you spend the next few months at home in your man cave trying to muster up enough confidence and gumption even just to talk to another girl because you think they're all nuts. However, you can avoid the emotional roller coaster of love and get things right from the start by watching out for one particular trait. This red flag makes you think she's the one, yet it's actually a trap some women are masters at playing. The good news is, when you're aware of this trait, they won't be able to play you anymore. And I'll reveal this trait at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But for now, let's review the 5 biggest signs she's the one. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jorgensen. Welcome to Just the Tip. Now, you don't have to have all of these signs, but the more you have, the more likely that she truly is the one for you. So, number 1, you both want what's best for each other, even if that means it's not staying together. I know that's a big one. That's a pretty rare one, but if you've got that, that's a pretty good sign that she's truly the one for you. Number 2, you both feel like you're the lucky one for having the other. So she thinks she's lucky to have you, and you think you're lucky to have her, without being needy or codependent. Number 3, this one's important. You have compatible beliefs, values, and long-term goals. It doesn't mean they have to be exactly the same, but they're compatible. Now, this one may seem obvious, but there's an awful lot of people out there who get together and fail to recognize when they're not compatible until it's way too late. You rush in because of attraction and chemistry, and you think that that's going to be enough, and then you fall in love and you think that's going to be enough for long-term success, but it's not. For example, you want kids as soon as possible. She doesn't even want kids. You're hoping that she'll change her mind. What if she doesn't change her mind? What if it's the other way around? What if you don't want kids for another 10, 20, maybe never, but she wants kids? Like tomorrow. That's not going to work. And she might even trick you if you're not going to agree. So be careful. Another example, she wants to live in the city, but you want to move to the country or a small town as soon as possible, or vice versa. Another example, you've got opposite political beliefs that are really important to you. Not everybody is all about politics, but if they are very steadfast in their specific beliefs, they might not even consider what the ramifications of that is going to look like down the road. Of course, if they're not deal breakers, then no big deal. But these are some of the things you need to explore up front and be certain of to know if she's truly the one for you. And here's the thing. So often, I see people go into relationships thinking they know their deal breakers and their deal makers, only to discover that what their true deal breakers and deal makers are totally different. And then they end up breaking up or having a really tumultuous and unsatisfying relationship. Now, if you want to avoid that, then you do want to consider my Wake Up to Love program, because it takes you through a step-by-step process to figure out what your true deal breakers and true deal makers are. And a lot of times you discover they're not what you think they are. And that's probably why you haven't had successful relationships in the past. If you haven't, you know you'd be okay without her, but you can't imagine life without her by your side. This is not the same as you'd be completely lost and crumbling in the corner if you broke up. No, 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 no. If that's the case, then that's not really love. That's neediness, codependency, and insecurity. And if that's the case, then you definitely need to work on yourself. And yes, my Wake Up to Love program will help you with that, because it will help you learn how to become the kind of man who is never needy again. And if you kind of know you need this, but you don't know where to start, well, my program is a perfect place for you. Because deep down, you need to know you're going to be okay no matter what, even if things head south. Which is why the next sign is probably one of the most important. And then I'm going to share with you the one sign that everyone thinks is so important, but could be keeping you in a relationship that is definitely not right for you. Number 5, you feel like you're a better man and want to become a better man just by being with her. She inspires you, not because she asks for anything, not because she tries to motivate you, just because your internal sense of being with her makes you want to become your best self. And this is not to be confused with feeling motivated to improve yourself because you actually feel unworthy of her. You actually just feel you want to impress her by becoming your best self without any insecurity as a motivation. For example, let's say you are living together and she wants new appliances, but they're not in the budget. And she's actually working a few extra hours, or maybe budgeting and cutting back on spending on some other things so she can get to those appliances sooner. In other words, she's contributing. And it might be a handbag, it might be anything she wants. Let's just use something that costs money in this example. So you put in a few extra hours or budget somewhere else so that you can contribute to getting those appliances because you want to make her happy. It's okay to want your partner to be happy. She should be doing the same things for you. And if she is, that's a good sign, because then that means she also wants to be her best self for you. Or maybe you've developed a COVID belly, and even though she hasn't said anything, you finally noticed, maybe somebody else, maybe a friend said, hey, you might want to lose the shit locker. So you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to have a locker for my woman. She deserves better than that. Even though she's not said anything, you want to improve yourself or get back to where you were when she fell in love with you. Well, a side note for all the guys who've kind of taken their woman for granted, stop it. I know that she might be doing the same thing, but somebody's got to be the ripple in the pond, so start. Now, if you've got at least 3 of these signs, that's pretty good indication that she might truly be the one for you. But let's talk about that one thing, that one trait that so many people think means you're compatible and she's the one. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, that's right. It's sex. So many people get together because of physical attraction and chemistry and maybe amazing, and that does not make a relationship. Of course, if you have amazing sex with a woman who has several of these qualities in this video, well, that's a massive bonus. And in all likelihood, the quack will be much better with her because you're so connected on so many different levels. But if sex is the only thing that keeps you coming back for more, that's a pretty major red flag. And you definitely need to get my Wake Up to Love program because you are at high risk for getting your heart broken. And you're missing out on finding a great partner, because nothing compares to being intimate with a great woman who actually ticks all the boxes. Because then you won't just be having great sex, you'll be having a great relationship that will last. Thanks for being here, and God bless.